For the best sports in Lorain, that's TV20, Lorain City Schools Television.
All right, I want to welcome you into WLCS's production and presentation of junior varsity football. Today, the Lorain Titans take on the Clyde Fliers, and we're underway already. Lorain High won the toss, deferred. Clyde's going to rip one off on the first play of the game. That'll be a pickup of about 11. I'm Don Vincent, I'm Bob Tomaszewski. Gary Pelter down on the sidelines enjoying a beautiful Saturday morning, nice and bright and sunny.
It is that.
we're fighting some of the sun, but that's all right, and we'll get everybody kind of caught up here. First run from scrimmage.
And there was no kickoff. I
No.
thought that was just freshman and junior high. But
Yeah, we're going to need both of those rosters. We got the rosters just a moment ago, so we're going to do a little bit of catch-up here. Spread formation for the Flyers, and direct snap to the quarterback, and he'll head off to the left side. That'll be Griffin Knopfs.
That's about 9.5-yard gain, which isn't bad on first down.
Well, you've got two positive run plays there.
Yeah. One
for 11 and one for 9. So you're already on the opposite side of the 50. And, you know, the Clyde Flyers, it's about what'd they say, about an hour drive
yeah.
to come in. Got out here, warmed up. They've been here about 45 minutes before game time. So they'll line it right back up. Two receivers in a slot formation on the right, wing to the left side, single running back, motion behind, jet sweep action, but they'll cut it back up against the grain. Working upfield is Bailey Eberly.
Well, I'll tell you what, Don, the Flyers have run 3 plays, and they've had gigantic holes to run through on those 3 plays.
I was actually going to go down and talk to Gary about that. There's a lot of movement along that line on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, Don, down here I'm just getting acclimated myself, but you are absolutely correct. They've got a lot of movement going on down there, and their offense has been very successful so far.
Another handoff, another big rip right up the middle. First down yardage on that carry. That'll be Michael Daniels, sophomore. And we get another big rip, although there's a flag. Looks like it's going to be back in the offensive line area. It's in that location, and there's the flag. Stepping back.
Well, that
10
hurts.
yards.
Ooh.
So both of these teams, Lorain High played Clarkson out of Canada last night. Clyde played a squad out of Dayton. So they both had the open morning
right.
for the JV and freshman games, and we'll get those in today.
Yeah.
Same formation, 2 receivers right, quarterback under center, single running back in the offensive backfield. They'll hand off to the big guy. Ball's on the turf. Pick it up. Pick up a couple, but that's going to be about it, and just the misconnection. And that's kind of the nature of junior varsity football.
Yes.
By the way, on the carry that time, Mason Dick, you rip off a couple big plays, something goes wrong, you get the penalty, and now things get a little out of kilter. Second and about 16.
Well, this might be a forward pass. They haven't thrown one yet, but let's see.
On a second down and long. Nope, handoff. Left side. Again, Daniels with the carry. He's going to move the pile.
Clyde's in a double wing formation, and they always have one of the wings coming around behind the formation. So you always have that counter play set up, and everything kind of bounces off of that.
14-yard pickup on that one. And this is definitely a ground-based attack.
Oh, for sure.
Which I think is typical of the varsity squad as
yeah,
well.
I think you're right, yeah.
3 receivers right in the spread formation. Shotgun now on the third down and short.
Straight ahead.
Yeah, it's a keeper, and that'll be another first down. Inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 8, maybe 7.
Witherspoon, Andrew Witherspoon.
In on the tackle for the
mid.
Titans.
He started all the commotion to end the play.
First down and 10 for the Flyers. Lorain's 16-yard line. Good opening drive for Clyde.
Just dominating.
First down snap, motion behind, handoff, right up the middle again. There's a good stop for the Lorain defense. Nice job coming up on that pressure, and Robert Gonzalez making the tackle that time for Lorain High. Pickup of maybe 3. Second down at about 7.
Well, this is a huge play right here.
Well, I would think, yeah. Clearly in the red zone. Under center goes the quarterback, and there's that wing set. Handoff to one of those wing backs, and that's going nowhere fast. Ball comes loose on the tackle. Lorain High comes up with it. That was right in front of Gary.
It was a great defensive play by the Titans. They came up with that, and they needed to come up with some kind of stop. So far in this drive, their best friend had been the penalty flag, and they came up with that turnover right there, and Clyde got down to the 9-yard line, but the Titans end up with the football, and they're going to go the other way and see what they can do offensively, guys.
It was Hawkins on that stop, and I mean, he messed up the whole play for Clyde. He did a heck of a job on that one.
Lorain will take over at their own 9-yard line. 6:49. This first quarter of action in junior varsity football. It's good to be with WLCS. It's been a long time since I've been on with the guys here and gals, all the great folks at WLCS.
The peoples.
The people. Joe, thanks for having me back. Appreciate it.
What Joe needs is more wires and connections.
There's not enough stuff.
Stuff.
We need more stuff.
Yeah.
All right, here's a true spread for the Titans as they come to the line of scrimmage. 5 to go into the pattern here with the ball at the 9-yard line.
Just a quarterback in the backfield.
That's it. Quick pass goes out to the side. It'll fall incomplete. Clarence Thomas, starting quarterback, tried to hook up with Khalib Davis. That one will fall incomplete on a first down.
Khalib dropped it. Okay.
And the Titans really taking their time here. There's not a real sense of urgency to get to the line.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the timing of these plays. They're going to go ahead and spread a couple guys out again. Jamarian Harkness, we just talked about defensively, is going to be split out to the near side.
Can't be any more spread than this.
Well, now they'll bring those wing backs into the offensive backfield alongside the quarterback, Thomas. He'll hand off right up the middle. There's a nice little rip on a second down carry. Working upfield that time. I thought.
That's a doable. Third
I want to say that was Gonzalez on the carry. Pickup of about 8. Link brings up a 3rd and 2 for the Titans junior varsity squad. They'll go right back to that spread, but don't be surprised if you see those guys motion back into the offensive backfield. There you go on the shift. Thomas looks over the defense, and
it's like a blitz coming.
Yeah, Clyde is definitely coming after this one. They'll shift just at the snap, and that should be enough to move the sticks. Needed 2, got 3. And again, on the carry, Robert Gonzalez. Nice job blocking that at the point of attack as well, Coach.
Well, we got a player just showed up. He's getting dressed on the sidelines. He's he thought the game was at 9:15 or 9:30.
Breakfast buffet.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, Look, it's not like you and I have ever passed up a buffet. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. That was my middle name for a few years.
From the 21, first down and 10 for the Titans. There's that spread again. They're going to try to hit that quick pass out to the edge, and they're flirting with danger out there. That's as close to a lateral as you can get. Gary, that's right in front of you.
Yeah, I was going to say they came out on their first offensive play and ran that type of formation where everybody spread out, tried to get that quick screen pass out there, and it was unsuccessful. Then they brought the backs in, and they had some success running it with the backs in tight with the quarterback. But that time they went back to that quick screen look and was unsuccessful again. So here we go with the backs right next to the quarterback now.
See, there seem to be 2 points of emphasis here. One, we want to own the middle of the line, and then we also want to spread the field whenever we can. So, Gary, I agree with your assessment there. The ball goes on the ground. Lorain will jump on it and retain possession. Xavier Smith was the intended running back that time, and he did a good job, and he did the right thing,
Yes.
just falling on it and curling up around it.
Quarterback a little quick on the handoff, trying to get out of there.
Loss of 2, maybe 3, actually. Yeah, back them up. It'll be a 3rd down and 13 now for the Titans. Flyers defense being at least somewhat stingy here.
Both teams have made plays offensively, but they can't string 5 or 6 of them together.
They'll wind the clock here because it wasn't running. 5.5 minutes left.
All right, here we got spread city again.
We'll move running backs into the slot formations. You've got 2 receivers going either way. Single running back as they throw on this 3rd and long. Come out to the near sideline. That one's caught. Robert Gonzalez will work forward. He'll take it up to about the 30 and be about a yard shy.
So what do you do? One thing about JV teams, they don't practice punting a lot. So I'm going to guess that they're going to go for it.
Well, you know, and it's Lorain High football, Coach. You know, punting is not high on the list of fun things to do.
I understand.
Well, we want the ball. We want possession.
Well, here's the other thing to look at, gentlemen. Lorain High, when they've had the opportunity to actually get the handoff or the quick pass, they've been successful moving forward. So as long as they get that handoff or quick pass,
Easy
they
for
got a
you
good
to
chance.
say.
Well, they're going to go back to that running formation, Gary, and to your point, try to take advantage of that handoff. Clyde stacking the middle of the field. Handoff, bouncing outside this time. David Taylor heads upfield. Should have enough for a first down, and the flag comes in behind the play.
I wonder what that might be.
It was at the point of the tackle.
Maybe illegal block?
Might be.
There was a wide guy out there. Let's see.
Holding is the call. And
Lorain.
yeah, and Clyde's got to take this penalty. There's,
you have to.
you know, it's give them the first down or take the penalty. So, yeah, back them up. First penalty dropped on Lorain High, 10 yards. A relatively clean JV ball game thus far.
Yes.
well, to my point, gentlemen, Lorain High got the handoff and they got the
Yeah.
yardage for the first down, but the holding penalty is going to move them back, and that's going to change things up a little bit as far as the play calling goes, I think.
You know, it's going to have to. I mean,
Yeah,
that being said, you know, the penalty actually occurred on the other side of the stick. So when they mark off the 10, it leaves you with a 4th and 8, but it's still, that's a big chunk to get on a 4th down.
It
And,
sure is.
and right now, Clyde knows that Lorain's best offensive production thus far has been on the ground.
And especially when you're coming out of the hold on here and the ball's on the, 22-yard line? Your 22-yard line?
Exactly. Thomas will come to the line with his offense now. The officials will back them off just a little bit. And guys, I'm struggling right now to identify what kind of defense exactly Clyde's playing. They're putting so many guys up on the line. They're moving so many into the
Moving them
line.
around, yes.
Yeah. I think they're starting with a 3-base defense, but
Yes, and then there's a lot of blitzing going on, which really is usually very successful in a JV game because those kids don't see a lot of that.
So here's what just happened, by the way. They marked off the penalty, but they gave him the play. So it's first down and 10, only 10 yards further back, which is a different application of the rules, I think. There will be some official that will call me up and say, hey, Don, pay attention. Snap goes
It must
back.
have happened after. Ooh, see there, missed that.
Yeah, those swing passes is going to result in a loss.
Yeah, it must have happened after the ball carrier made his gain, and then there was the penalty, right? I'm guessing.
I'm guessing. And one of the rule changes a while back is you can't set up the first shot at a first down with more than 10 yards. So it's going to give you a 1st and 10 even if you get moved back. Loss on that play of about 4. It's a 2nd and about 14. Ball all the way back to the 19. This has been slow going for Lorain.
There's not a lot of, hurry up.
2 receivers on either side now. Single running back. Thomas Pump fake, looks across the middle,
It's a
floats
wobbler.
one, and that's going to fall incomplete. Well, you had a receiver breaking long. Jamarian Harkness had a step.
But that was a dead quail, and there was no two Clyde guys who are looking at each other like, you going to take it? No, I'll take it. You take it. Oh, and nobody took it.
Well, third down is what we'll take at this point. Lorain has another opportunity. Dodged a bullet with that pass floating up there like that.
Now, the guy that came late, he's still getting dressed down here.
There's a lot of pads to put on.
Well, it's, yeah.
All right, two receivers on either side. This is a 3rd and 14. Ball back at the 19-yard line. Pump fake. Oh boy.
Oh.
Got out of the first sack attempt, but that's not going to help him much. And a flag comes in late from well away from the play. Sack's going to occur back at the 11-yard line. And
They're going to call a face mask, guys.
are they? Wow.
Boy.
Did you see it?
If you're the Clyde defense right there, you had the guy wrapped up, and you'd think, just hold him or bring him down, but you don't have to face mask him to get him down.
No.
That's for sure.
No.
So you went from a 4th and, about 23. You're going to step off a 15-yard penalty.
He had about a 4th and 10.
And it's still going to be a 4th down.
4th and 8. Gee whiz. Well, Lorain's getting a couple of breaks here. Now they're going back in the huddle. Ay, 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 ay.
Now, this is about where we thought we were going to be about 3 plays ago, guys.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
I wonder if anybody's keeping track of the time between plays.
Doesn't seem like it. We're down to 2:53.
It's just a walking
on the game
through
clock,
here.
yeah.
Nobody hustling.
4th down, and we'll call it 6 for the Titans. They'll go back to that running-based formation with 2 running backs alongside the quarterback. They'll fire long. Extension, look out. This may go all the way with the catch. David Taylor, forget about it. Into the end zone, touchdown Titans.
Amazing.
And they moved the sticks awfully quick. So we're back at the 27, I think, was where we snapped that. So we got to do the math. 72 yards, 73 yards.
That was a thing of beauty.
Well, yeah, we saw that earlier. You had a different receiver that had the step on the defensive backs and linebackers, and the Titans weren't able to connect on it. But here they go, run that same play with the receiver coming out of the slot, found some space, and was able to put the ball into the end zone. Yeah, I think they got to go back to that one.
Oh, yeah. That's when the assistant coach says, that was on page 3, play number 5.
Two-point extra point attempt forthcoming. There's Thomas. Takes a snap, rolls right, looks in the end zone, had a man temporarily, a little straight arm. He's going to get wrapped up and dropped outside the 5-yard line. So the Titans take a 6-0 lead in this one. The 2:29 mark in the first quarter.
I think the most impressive thing, other than the pass itself, was it was on 4th down and 8, guys.
That's a great point. That's a great point, and able to extend the middle of that field. And Gary, pick up on your point earlier. You talked about the strong run game in the middle of the field for the Titans and the intent to get the ball outside throwing wise. Well, those successful pass plays thus far have been across the middle as well. It's all in the middle of the field in between the hashes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think that the Titans, that success in that running game going up the middle, tightened up that defense a little bit for Clyde and allows the Titans receivers to get that.
Right now we're taking a look at one of the injured Titans down on the far side of the field. I don't want to name the wrong young man, but just from the way the pressure was on the quarterback, yep, that's exactly it. Clarence Thomas got spun around and twisted around on that tackle. He seems to be moving pretty good right now. Well, there's a little hitch in his giddy up.
Hey, our sideline guy is ready to roll.
He's doing a great job. You put him in the game, right?
No, yeah, well, he's dressed.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But now he's going back in the locker room.
Needs a little help getting the shoulder pads done. Hey, Clarence taking some time coming off the field.
All right, well, 2:29 in that first quarter.
There
doesn't seem to be any urgency going on here in this game.
There is not. So they'll spot the ball out at the 35-yard line for the Clyde Fliers with 2:29 remaining.
I'm surprised. I mean, it's a JV game and you don't kick off. Where are the kids supposed to learn how to do that?
Next year.
I can see in the at the lower levels, but you know.
So Flyers will come to the line on first down and 10 at the 35-yard line. Want to go to the air? Lots of time.
Oh
now
boy.
a little pressure
He could
comes.
run here, and he is.
Good call, Coach.
But
nice open field tackle that time. We'll find a number for you. I want to say I will, but I'm not going to. That young man not on my roster.
I'm
It's a
shocked.
phenomenal play. Quarterback keeper that time, it was Griffin Knopf's, able to pick up about 3. Brings up a second down and 7. I see some umbrellas here in the stadium,
There is
which
some
I'm thinking we should have brought.
Yes.
Or at least a
yes.
hat, because I know the glare off my forehead's killing you. Might be interrupting the passing game as well. Handoff, ball loosely handled, finally
Wobbling
pulled
around.
in that time by the running back Michael Daniels, but he'll get wrapped up and dropped after a short gain. On the stop, Isaiah Harrison.
Oh, I don't think you copied it down off of this roster.
Oh.
Number 12 is at the very top. Ethan Nickel.
Thank you. All right. That was a nice tackle by Ethan, so we definitely want to give him credit.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for that, Gary. I
Give him
appreciate
a
it.
Shout out, yeah.
Third
Here
and
comes
3.
blitzes.
Yeah, Lorain High definitely coming after that. It's going to be a big guy run up the middle again. Bounces outside, gets dragged down from behind. On the tackle, Caleb Davis, one of the juniors on this squad.
I tell you, when he gets motivating, there's he's hauling butt getting out there. Gee whiz.
I'll take it across midfield to the Lorain High 45. And this is, guys, both you guys jump in on this. This is very reminiscent of the first possession by Clyde, able to move
Yes.
the ball early in big chunks.
Yeah. Then they had the penalty.
First down and 10 from the Lorain High 45-yard line. Handoff, trying to work outside. Good shot upfield, and that's our guy Ethan Nickel coming up off that corner position, shutting
Yes.
down the run.
Yeah, somebody's got to block him. He's saying, no, that's okay. I like it this way.
I don't know if your stat man's got that up there, but I think that was the first tackle for a loss for the Titans.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Gary. We got to get our stat guy better on the... Who is our stat guy?
Don't be asking any complicated questions.
Second down, and we'll call it 13. Shotgun snap, pressure up the middle again. Little flip pass outside. You had 2 receivers that had a play on that for Clyde. Neither one of them able to pull it down.
Right.
And on the coverage, again, Ethan Nickel. All of a sudden, Ethan's the guy.
I'll tell you what, that Caleb Davis is rumbling around out there in the secondary, too. He's got a nose for the ball.
Third down and 13. Ball back. Lorain High 48-yard line now. Wings on either side. Handoff up the middle. Rolling forward
There you
now
go.
is Michael Daniels. Daniels near first down yardage. Has first down yardage on the second effort. We'll take it down to about the 31-yard line.
Yeah, that was a nice run. But I think one of the, it is a problem for Clyde. The running backs, they start at making cuts and everything in the backfield. I mean, get upfield a little bit, and then you can start juking your guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 16-yard pickup. So another first down for the Flyers. Lorain High in the first possession. Bend but don't break. They're being challenged again here on Clyde's second possession.
Quick hitter. Well, that's good for, it's close to the first.
Take it down to the 25-yard line. All of a sudden, young Michael Daniels has become the featured back.
Seems to be, yes.
Minute 18 remains in this first quarter. They'll wind the clock. Get it running. Wing to the left, split to the right, tight end to that right side as well. Hand off up the middle. There you go. You figured that one out. Titans defense, staunch. Jesse Robles coming up, wrapping up.
He almost took the handoff. He was in the backfield.
Loss of a yard or so makes it 3rd down and 4. See, now that's the definition of an old school wing-based offense right there.
Oh, yeah.
One running back, wings on either side.
You got it.
Hand off to the big guy again, and he'll be dragged down short.
Hawkins.
Harkness.
Harkness. From the backside. See, that's everybody pulls out and gets going, but somebody's got to slow those trailing people down a little bit.
4th and a couple now for the Flyers. And again, this is where the Lorain defense seems to be at its best.
Yeah.
Inside the red zone.
Because really, Clyde has moved the ball 2 possessions right up and down the field, but they can't get the big play when they're down close.
A couple receivers on that short side of the field, on the outside to the left of the offense. Handoff, first down, and then some. That'll be the big guy, Daniels, down to about the 15-yard line. Pickup of about 8. Move the sticks.
It looked as if that play, the Titans had at least 9 guys inside the box there to try and stop that, and almost begging Clyde to throw the football, but they didn't, and they still got the first down, guys.
And that'll bring the first quarter to a close. 6-0 in favor of the Lorain Titans. When we come back, it'll be 1st down and 10 for Clyde at about the 14-yard line. We'll be right back with more on WLCS TV20.
We make Marines who overpower the desire to quit with the perseverance to prevail. Not for glory, but for honor. For a code that isn't written or spoken, but lived. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's the battle cry of our fighting spirit. Battles won. See all the battles Marines fight to win at marines.com.
Second quarter action about to start here on WLCS TV20. Don Vincent, Bob Tomaszewski, Gary Pelter down on the field. Good to be with you on this Saturday morning for JV football. 1st down and 10 for Clyde. They go to the shotgun with 2 receivers split. They have the ball at the 14-yard line of Lorain. That'll be a quarterback keeper. Take it inside the 10 down to about the 8.
Clyde's knocking on the door, and Lorain's saying, you ain't coming in here. They've been down here a couple times, and they've come up short.
2nd and 5 from about the 9-yard line.
But I don't see any, like, hurry up on
No.
either side. They're just like,
It's been a very slow-moving football game thus far.
Kinda, yeah.
Methodical is a good word.
I looked it up last time.
Knopf's the quarterback, a keeper again, works up into the middle of the line, and he's going to be knocked down by Jesse Robles. That's the 2nd or 3rd time we've called Jesse's name in the game.
See, that's one of those, the blocker had a guy in his inside shoulder and his outside shoulder. He picked one, the other guy made the tackle. I mean, you can only block one guy.
3rd and 4 as Lorain's Isaiah Harrison trotted onto the field. Once in on this 3rd and short situation. 3 receivers to the right, single running back alongside the quarterback. Knopf's handoff goes to the big guy. He'll try to work. He gets to the 5-yard line. I think he's going to be stopped there. Michael Daniels on the carry that time. He's been the featured running back.
Now they're down to that 4th down, and oh boy.
Oh, it's not much.
Not even a yard.
I'll tell you what, he had it.
You thought he had it?
I'm trying to get back into range here.
Oh, gotcha.
He had a nice effort there, and he picked up an extra yard, which is going to, instead of 4th and 2, it's going to be a 4th and 1 yard here.
You might just call this, Gary. You're right there. Lee Daniels again gets the handoff, and boy, not touched until he gets to the end zone. He'll tie the ball game up at 6 on a 5-yard sprint.
And that was. He started to his right, planted that outside foot, and broke it up. And TD.
Didn't take long to get the ball into the end zone. The 2-point extra point attempt coming up. Daniels again gets wrapped up in the backfield and dropped. That's not going to happen. And again, Jesse Robles in on the stop. So we'll tie the ball game at 6. And, you know, what we saw, guys, on that first possession from Clyde, really what we saw in the second possession, chunk plays to begin with, get a little bit more conservative, getting closer to the end zone. And this time, not having the flag dropped on him, not losing that momentum and taking it in the end zone.
Yeah, this is, on both sides, this is a typical JV defense. A lot of stunts and blitzing, which, you know, you're talking about younger kids, that confuses the offense. And
13 plays, 65 yards. Not bad.
That's no attempt on it. Kicking an extra point. If you had it,
hard to find a JV kicker, though, in all
not.
honesty.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No. I found one every year. I'm sorry. Find a tackle. I'm serious. Because people get to see him and they know who he is.
Teach him a kick like Lou Groza.
You got it. Punch it through.
All right, Lorain High will have the ball.
You know, that's the way it is.
I think the hardest part is getting the kid to hold the snap.
Out of fear for his fingers?
It's called practice.
Lorain High will take over 35-yard line. Backfield pitch. Trying to find the edge, and that's not going to happen. The Titans are going to get maybe a loss of a yard that time. Really, that play never developed fully.
No. Well, I think part of it was the fullback came in late, and I'm not sure he even knew the play.
2nd and 11 is the call here. Titans showing early on that big play splash ability.
Oh, yeah.
That
There's no question.
Varsity team shows with some frequency. 2 running backs alongside the quarterback this time in the backfield. 2 receivers left. Little read play, handoff. And this is going to be another of those big bust-out plays. And here we go, the length of the field. David Taylor is going to take it into the end zone again from long distance.
Now, do we see any flags on the field?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I don't see any.
Yeah, no flags, so there you go.
66-yard run for touchdown for Taylor.
He just zigzagged his way right straight ahead.
So just on his touchdown runs, guys, 138 yards.
That's a good game, much less just on a couple of touchdown runs.
So line back up. That 2-point conversion position. Robert Gonzalez will be the guy taking the snap. Takes it, keeps it, wanted to go left, sidesteps one would-be tackler, pitches it outside, and not going to get into the end zone that time. So it'll be a 12-6 lead. And boy, the Titans' ability to hit the big plays on the ground, in the air.
Yes. Yes, they got guys that can run.
David Taylor, the young man that has scored both of those touchdowns, is a sophomore, so we can anticipate that he'll find the varsity field next year.
You're seeing a lot of him.
.7:44 remaining in the first half. Junior varsity football action. First and 10. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Whistles tweet to stop play before we get started. A timeout's going to be taken by the Titans.
All the defensive players out there.
I was going to say they only had initially 9 players out there in the field. They got a couple guys coming out there late, and I think they would have been out of alignment by the time that ball would have been snapped. So
I think you're right, Gary.
Coach decided to call the timeout and make sure we got everybody on the field and lined up correctly.
Yeah, getting out there is one thing, but what defense are we going to play? You got to know that.
Yeah. And the problem is if you call a stunt and one guy's not running, he's running base, and everybody else is stunting, it's bound to leave a spot on the field that can be taken advantage of.
And those offensive backs seem to know where those spots are.
You find them.
Why is that? Yeah.
You are so correct, Tomo. It's never the guy that's missing that's on the backside of the play that it didn't matter anyways.
That's right.
It's always right at the point of attack.
Always.
It's painful. First down and 10. Here we go. We got everybody out of the field this time and everybody lined up. Flyers changed their offensive position for coming out of that timeout. Little play action look. Flip pass into the flat. Caught, wrapped up, and dropped. The receiver that time was Brady Wilson. And in on the stop, guess who? Ethan Nickel.
That boy's been around. But I know Lorain doesn't huddle up defensively.
They call it off the sideline? Is that?
I guess.
All right, they'll go that 4-man down lineman look.
They got that inside part of the game, don't they?
Yeah, Daniels will just bust it through. Now, he's a big kid. I think we've got height and weight on him, but he's going to take it down, a pickup of about 7, make it a 3rd and 1. Michael Daniels, 6 foot, 183 pounds as a sophomore. That's a big kid.
Oh, yeah.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Single running back on a 3rd down and short. Quarterback keeper, first down, and then a little bit more to midfield. Still on his feet, getting wrapped up and dropped at about 47-yard line, maybe 48. Yep. They'll move the sticks. All he needed was a yard.
And he got that.
Got that plus.
Plus a little extra, yeah.
Picked up about 8.
Titans had a blitz going that time, and the blitzing linebacker tackled the running back, which didn't help much when the quarterback keeps it.
There you go. First down and 10 for Clyde. Fumbled the ball on their first possession, took it into the end zone on their second. This is their 3rd of the game. Snap will go back. Long ball. Man open downfield a little bit too long. And a flag comes in.
A little late.
They're going to call pass interference.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I was coming from the sideline, down the sidelines, and I don't think there was an official within 20 yards of that actual play, but I didn't think it was pass interference from my vantage point.
I have to agree with you, and I agree with your comment on the positioning. They're going to step this one off either way, and it will result in a first down for Clyde. And now some of the fans perhaps voicing some disagreement with the call. Either way, first down and 10 now for Clyde. We'll have to get back at it here. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Quarterback, Knopfs. Handoff goes, actually, that was Knopfs. He'll just take it inside. Quick little hitter down to the 21-yard line. That'll be a pickup of a dozen. It's got a Wildcat look, although you can't call it a Wildcat.
Right.
I mean, he's your guy.
He's
Just a running quarterback.
And they're just spreading the field just to get the defense as thin as they can and then have your guy outrun everybody.
We're down to 5:42 left in the first half of junior varsity football action. I'm Don Vincent. Gary Belter's down on the field. Bob Tomaszewski sitting right next to me up in the booth. Just like we did last night. Wow.
Look at
Keeper
this.
again. Forget
Look at
about it.
this.
Haas going to pick and choose his way into the end zone for another Clyde touchdown.
Boy, nobody touched him.
My goodness.
Well, when he runs off the field, he's going to tell the coach, we got to run that play
Yeah.
again.
Can we do that some more?
Yeah.
You were absolutely right, Tom. Nobody touched him. He got through that initial line of scrimmage and broke it off a little bit to the left, and he was gone.
Griffin Noss having himself a pretty good game here from his quarterback position.
Well, he's getting a signal. Now, can we score an extra point? Curious.
You may be asking for a lot. He's just going to tuck and hit upfield.
Or-
And the answer to your question, Tomo?
Run it in.
Yes,
Yeah.
they will.
They kind of look like the play they ran to the left for the TD. They ran it to the right for the extra point.
I think right now, Tom, they said, well, it worked one way. Let's try it the other way.
Yeah.
It's a simple game. We sometimes make it more difficult than it has to be.
So you got to remember, I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid. So come on.
14-12 now in favor of the Clyde Flyers. We don't have that up on the board, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. A little bit of discussion between the officials and the Lorain coaches, probably going back to that pass interference call. They've got the young man from Lorain that was on the coverage in on the conversation. I suppose that might help you out down the road, but it's not getting changed otherwise. First down for Lorain High. 5:20 remaining in the first half. They'll take over at the 35-yard line.
Get the spread again, boy. There.
It's kind of that it's that mixed look, as you've got receivers split wide all over the place, but then two running backs. Handoff will go right up the middle.
And the running backs are like shoulder to shoulder.
Yes. So Lorain High's been running for a while on the carry. David Taylor again. He'll only pick up a couple that time. As well as he's been running today, I imagine every time he touches the ball, he's thinking end zone.
Oh, for sure.
A little bit of an equipment repair. Eusebio Sevi Medina having to get his shoulder pad fixed. A little help from Harkness to make that happen. Second down. And about 8. Ball spotted at the 37-yard line of Lorain High. They'll stay with that running formation, play action look, stepping up, firing across the middle, incomplete. But the deep safety on that one was thinking tackle all the way as the ball sailed over the intended receiver, Dahoud Blakely. If he'd have been playing the ball, he might have come up with a big turnover.
You're right.
You're absolutely right, Don. I think what that safety was thinking was he wasn't going to get beat for that long touchdown.
Well, that's,
he was breaking down, ready to make the tackle, and that ball flew right past the receiver.
Seal, you got me once. You're not getting me again.
You don't want to be the guy trailing that play,
Oh, geez.
ever.
Yeah, you're always in the picture of the touchdown. You're the guy behind the receiver, jogging in after him.
Now the Titans will go with a little bit more of a pure spread look. Two receivers go either side on a 3rd down and 8. Snap, rollout to the left this time. Gonzalez fires and will be close to first down yardage. Yeah, well, the
They're
one
saying
official
it's
on the
a
near
first,
side
yeah.
says move it. Yeah.
Yep.
I want to say it was Harkness on the catch. Needed 8, got 9. Move the sticks. First down Titans at the 46-yard line now. Still plenty of time to put together a sustained drive here. You've got 4:15
Yeah.
remaining in the second
Lorain's
quarter.
in no hurry of getting. I mean, I'm not trying to be critical, but they are slow getting out of the huddle and getting up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they were going to put everybody into the pattern that time, but
Call timeout.
that length of time getting to the line of scrimmage results in the Titans calling a timeout. Save the down, save the penalty. I mean, Lorain High's offense, I mean, and truly, and this is, again, not being critical,
Yeah.
but it's really been those two big plays.
Sure. Yeah.
The rest of the time, it's been okay, a bit of a struggle. They get a couple chunks here and there, but I don't think in a situation like this, you've got a 1st down and 10, you're at near midfield. You don't want to back that up for
That's
any
correct.
reason, so thus the timeout.
Can you remember, though, when you were JVs or even varsity in practice or wherever, and you were just kind of walking out of the huddle? That didn't go big.
I can't say that I really remember that.
That was part of your hiney got chewed off. Get up on that ball. See, look, they're just jogging over.
I see a chair on the track. Is that who I think it is?
I don't know. I don't know what you're saying.
Went down there near
Yeah,
the goal line. Waiting to get a good look at the Titans going into the end zone. I want to say that's Brian Corey. Is that right?
You are correct. He's had a long weekend.
Yeah, well, yeah, he
Give Brian
has.
And
Brian
it's not
a break
over.
here.
He's going to have a long Monday.
Gonzalez takes the snap and heads upfield. Got chased out of the offensive backfield. Ends up picking about 5, maybe 6. Yeah, that's probably a discussion for another time and day.
Our guy that came late to the game and got dressed on the sidelines,
He's
he
good
just
to go.
he just walked past Gary, and he's just kind of walking around, checking out what was going on.
2nd down, and we'll call it 4. Ball's across midfield now. The Flyers' 48-yard line. Is that run formation? Well, they're going to throw it. Looked outside, not going to be there. Gonzalez is just going to have to head upfield, and
And a flag.
flags come in from well away and behind the play.
See, one of the problems where you get these flags is there are so many of these plays are just it's a breakdown and somebody just starts running around, and that's when you get clips and holding and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's going to be a hold on the Titans.
A lot of-
back them up 10 yards.
A lot of ad lib on the offensive side.
Well, and again, both of you guys chime in on this now. More with zone blocking as opposed
Sure.
to position blocking or hole blocking. It seems to me there's more of a tendency, or at least, if not to hold, the tendency to call the hold.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, guys, and a lot of that comes with the way the running back is running the football. Once he starts to run and the defender is trying to break away from that offensive lineman, there's a tendency to grab.
Yep.
That's the case. They're going to try to go long ball again. Catch across the middle. 1st down yardage right to the sticks that time. Going up and high pointing that is Jamarion Harkness. That young man has a nice set of hands.
And that time, the free safety, Wilson Brady, he was ready to make that tackle, wasn't he?
He was right in position. That's an excellent point. About a 16-yard pickup, enough to move the sticks. 2nd 1st down in this possession for the Titans. Got the ball down to the 44-yard line of the Flyers now. Splits go either way. Running formation, handoff, and boy, that one's going nowhere fast. Getting wrapped up in the backfield was Taylor, and there's just a whole lot of blue jerseys around him. I think the guy that got up off the pile last is probably the guy that made the initial contact. We'll give credit to that, to Robbie Greenslade.
Still, there ain't no place to run, Coach.
Ends up being about
Down to 2
a 4-yard
minutes.
loss.
2 minutes to go.
Well, you talked about Taylor's had the big plays this morning and come up with some great plays, but that time the Flyer defense had his number, that's for sure.
Well, it's especially at the JV level, you just pick one of your linebackers and say, hey, you see that guy wearing 17?
Yeah.
He's yours. Gonzalez rolls to the left side, tucks the ball. This one's coming
Flag.
back. I think there's another hold. There was a big hit out on the field. Gonzalez took a shot. He popped up quickly. The defender a little bit slower to get up. Flag lying back at the 48-yard line.
Actually, the official threw the flag, and a kid caught it in midair. So I don't know if he was the offender or,
Well, back the
It
Titans
is.
up another 10.
Yeah.
4th penalty, 45 yards on Lorain High.
I think the word, I think Gary will agree, is just inconsistent for Lorain. They do some things really good, and then they'll run 3 plays where they kind of forget.
How does 2nd and 25 sound?
Not good.
How many plays you have that on your play card?
I had not too many.
Not
too many.
2 receivers split to either side, likely throwing down for the Titans. They'll fire the long ball, breaking free, and receiver tripped up in the middle of the field. That will draw a pass interference call, and it looked like they were targeting David Taylor. Now, here's the thing. You've got 2nd and 25. You'll get the penalty yardage, but if it doesn't move the sticks on its own, it's not an automatic first down, I don't believe. Bring it back to the original line of scrimmage. Officials talking about, okay, we got to get back here and step it off. It's kind of easy. It's kind of academic. Joe Bach in the background. There's the play coach. Draw the pass interference call. That helps you out.
Well, actually, receivers go deep and just stop and let somebody run into you.
Well, that works too.
And that does bring it back to a more conventional 2nd down and 10.
And you got plays for that. You know what to do in that situation. 2 receivers in the offensive backfield. Robert Gonzalez running the offense now for the Titans. Handoff right up the middle, and that'll be a pickup of a yard maybe. It's Taylor on the carry. In on the stop, Mason Dick.
I know one thing. This JV team has never run a 2-minute drill.
And the clock's not running right now either. It's at $1:13. Now it'll roll. There we go. 3rd down and 9. 2 receivers split either side. Gonzalez, pressure up the middle, fires long ball. Taylor's there. No, intercepted. Well done. And that's Bailey Eberly playing center field back there.
He read that
Takes
all
it away,
didn't he?
Oh, Gary, maybe they heard you when we were talking about that the last time that pass floated down there.
Well, the thing is, guys, Lorain's had some success going over the middle, so that time they've tried to bump it a little bit out more towards the numbers, but that time the safety was all over it.
Actually, another couple yards outside, and you'd have been the intended receiver.
I was pretty close there.
Yeah.
Gary, you got to make a play, man. Come on.
I don't have the right color shirt on, though.
And you also don't have – you have too many numbers after your birthday.
Ow.
I'm sorry, but I'm just telling you the truth. I have more than you do, so.
You have a couple, yeah. Timeout taken by the Clyde Fliers. When they come back out of it, it'll be a first down at the 22-yard line. It's a warm Saturday morning.
But when you're sitting directly in the sun, that doesn't – I am, as they say, wringing wet.
It's warm and very bright out here.
Yes.
It is
I think
bright.
this is the most sun I've got all summer. I am afraid I'm going to burst into flames out here.
Well,
that's not good.
Especially your job, Gary. There's not a lot of sun in your job.
No,
is there?
I'm definitely a night owl. I set my alarm for 2 days in a row now, and this is not right.
Yeah.
Well, what did you set it for? That's the question. All right, first down and 10 at the 22. If it was noon, I'm talking about you. 3 receivers left. Flyers want to throw. Lots and lots of time.
You got to chuck it, buddy.
Now you'll get a little bit of pressure and wrap up in a tackle at the 25-yard line, but that's going to be about a 3-yard pickup. You know, credit Morris Smith with the tackle, but Griffin Knotts had all kinds of time back there.
Running out of time now, though. They're down to 40 seconds.
And to answer your question, Don, today I had it set for 8:30. But yesterday I had to work into that. It was 11:30 yesterday.
Oh, boy. In the morning or in the evening?
This is rough. And actually,
He's
keeper
on
Knopf,
his horse now.
first down yardage
baby.
and some. Does a nice job switching the ball and the straight arm. He's going to take it out to midfield. It's a pickup of, about 26.
Yeah.
And a first down. One official wants to roll the clock. The other one says, no, stop it, timeout, with 8 seconds remaining in the half. Clyde has those 8 seconds. They want to try to take advantage.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to change the time on the clock. What are they saying, Gary?
They're saying 13 seconds. There was a little bit of time there when they called the timeout that it just ran off, so they're resetting it to 13 seconds. And that'll give the Flyers probably at least 2 plays if they one of them's an incomplete pass.
But they can't get the clock
or
set.
get it out of bounds.
You get the time back on there, you do a 5-second
they only
untimed runoff.
Oh, he's pointing to his watch. He's got the time.
Yeah. So don't change the time. Just don't start the clock on the snap. Wait for the official. Handoff up the middle. That's the big guy, Daniels, again, trying to pick his way through down to the 30. Hesitates there, still on his feet at the 25 and down at the 22-yard line. And I'm thinking that may about do it.
Yeah, they're saying hold it, hold it, hold it.
28-yard pickup for Daniels. And I think we're done.
Well, they're discussing it out there because they did run the clock during that play. So the Titans are all thinking that the half is over. Clyde's over there hoping that they've got one more play.
I think they do.
And the ball carrier was tackled in bounds, though. So
yeah.
Oh, good point. Would the clock have stopped to move the sticks?
The official's pointing to the timekeeper up in the box.
Gotta throw Gary's mic into that conversation. That'd be fun. Maybe not.
It's a lot of explaining.
The Flyers are coming out to
they're
going to attempt to run another play.
But the clock should run as soon as they set the ball. Because, Gary, as you pointed out, it was tackled in bounds.
Timeout?
And that was the only thing that when the Flyers are going to look at that film, their tape, I should say, they're going to say there wouldn't have been any question about you got one more play for sure.
Titans taking their time getting back out onto the field for this last play of the half.
Par for the course for the Titans.
3 receivers right, 1 to the left. We got Daniels, the running back, the quarterback, Knopf. Clap for the ball, hands off Daniels, gets tackled in the backfield. He's going nowhere fast that time. Get wrapped up and dropped and in on the stop for Lorain High. Jaden Tucker wrapped it up. That'll bring the first half to a close. Scoreboard says 12-12. I've got it at 14-12 on my score sheet. We'll have to do some checking during halftime. We'll take a little bit of break. When we come back on TV20, it'll be third quarter action. Junior varsity football. Lorain and Clyde on WLCS TV20.
I started mentoring my mentee, Dantre, 4 years ago. I always thought about doing it. It always seemed like a good idea.
We were both nervous when we first met, but everything kind of fell into place.
Mentoring is important to anyone that's pretty fortunate in life to have a little bit of time to pass on that knowledge.
Etienne's a very close friend. I look at him as a brother and a father figure. He taught me just focus on the big picture because I would like to give back just like Etienne gave back to me. Be someone who matters to someone who matters.
Ohio State is saving lives every day.
This is Ohio State.
We're the economic engine of the state, a major employer.
Over 60,000 students. We're on the forefront of cancer research. An educational core of Ohio.
Impacting tens of thousands daily.
Our alumni organization is nearly 500,000 worldwide.
This is Ohio State.
This is Ohio State.
Ohio State.
This is the Ohio State University.
For the thousands of wounded warriors returning from battle, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a unique program that helps wounded warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. The Warriors to Work program also works with employers to find the right job for the right warrior. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Stop. Whether it's on the way to school, at school, or online, bullying has become a non-stop threat to our youth today. Is your child being bullied? The National Runaway Switchboard can help. If you're having a hard time, get online or call to chat now.
Time for second half action here on WLCS TV20. At the half, 14-12, the Clyde Fliers over the junior varsity squad from the Lorain Titans. Don Vincent, Bob Tomaszewski, Gary Pelcher down on the field, enjoying the day.
I think Gary got the officials straightened out down there.
Did you take care of that?
We did get the scoreboard straightened out. So
that's good.
You guys mentioned at the end of the first half that they had up on the scoreboard it was still 12-12, and so it came over right at the end to talk to the officials. I said, was that, did that 2-point conversion count or not count? Or he goes, no, it counted, and as we were talking, the scoreboard was correcting it. So it is 14-12, guys.
A young man with a yellow shirt trotting across the field. I think
Don't
he's gonna
ask why.
He's going to be part of the stick crew, I see. I think you got a player over there. An official with helmets in his hand. Lorain helmets over on the
Well, so they can,
Clyde side of things. Interesting. Okay. All right, so let's get going here. Titans down by 2, 14-12. I'll get back into that running formation. The varsity team uses this same formation with some frequency. Handoff. Taylor wanted to go right side. It's going to end up going backwards and losing about 3 on the first carry of the second half. Terrence Thomas is back at the quarterback position to start things off in the second half. Looks like they'll platoon the quarterbacks between the quarters.
I do want to let you know, guys, in that first half, of course, when Thomas got his ankle twisted up a little bit, or he got something twisted up on the, I believe it was the extra point attempt earlier. He was out. They were on the bench. He was tightening up his shoes, and but now he's back in here for the second half of play, guys.
Just tie him a little tighter. That's it. Hitch and go. They'll float one out to the side. It's Taylor going up after it, and the flag comes in.
So I don't agree with that. The kid went over the body, but he was going after the football. Jeez. Are you allowed to knock it away? Apparently not.
Well, given the call that you had earlier, there's some consistency there.
Oh, yeah.
They'll step off the 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, and that should be enough to move the sticks. Be the 4th penalty for 55 yards on Clyde today. Ball will be spotted at the Titans' 47-yard line. Nine minutes remaining in the third quarter. Two receivers right, one to the left. Here's that running formation. We've got a couple guys back there. We're going to say they've been featuring Taylor. This time it will be Xavier Smith. He'll get into the line of scrimmage and get wrapped up and dropped at that point. Zach Coley from Clyde in on the stop.
Tell you take some of those penalties away from Lorain, and they'd really be hurt.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, that gave him a first down. There we go. Boy, they are bunched up in the backfield, aren't they? They're all within like 2 feet of each other.
They're close. Smith just a little bit further behind. He's going to get another carry. He'll kind of jitterbug his way into the line. He'll pick up a couple on a second down carry. Leaves it at 3rd and 8 at the 49. And that's that other part of kind of zone blocking, or zone blocking schemes as a running back. You've got to find a hole, and if you don't find that quickly,
Yeah,
you're
in
slow
trouble.
into the line.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Yep.
That being said, if you've got good offensive line and
Well,
running backs with good vision, you're
undefeated.
golden.
You're undefeated. Yeah.
Exactly.
They're in this. This has been consistent with it.
3rd and 8.
He's going to throw it.
Titans will fire the ball across the middle. It's going to be picked off. Nicely played that time by the Clyde
And he's got room
safety.
to run.
Yeah, he's going to go a long way.
He
Andrew
fumbled.
Cauble.
I could see that
Ball
coming.
comes loose, and it's still loose. Looks like Clyde will fall on it way down in Lorain territory at the 38-yard line.
The receiver got hit from behind, and the ball came out. But even on the fumble, they gained about 10 yards, more than what they had on the interception.
7:17 remaining.
Boy, didn't he read
quarter.
that nice?
Stepped
As a
in
DB?
front of it.
Oh yeah.
Gary, that was you were right there watching that. I mean, he did a great job reading that and then reacting.
Well, we talked about their safeties playing center field out there, and that time he definitely did. Just sat back there, watched the ball, came out, and he made a perfect play on it, and had a nice return up until the ball got knocked loose.
Yeah.
They're going to probably talk to him about that. In the film
Ball
session.
security?
Ball
Yeah.
security there, yeah.
Maybe.
Everything you did on that play was great, except.
First down and 10 for the Flyers. They're up by a 2-spot, 14-12 over the Titans in the 3rd quarter. Here they go on a 1st and 10 from the Lorain 38-yard line. There was movement in the offensive backfield. That should stop things, and it does.
They didn't know what they were.
Yeah, back them up 5.
Yeah, answer me this question. Those wide receivers, they always go out there and there's an official right there, and they look at him and point to him, and then I think that means, am I on the line or off the line? But the official never does anything, just stands there. I don't get it.
But he should technically should acknowledge him, at
Yeah.
least with a verbal okay.
Well, and that's what happens is down here, you don't see it, but I'll hear the official say you're good, and and that's all he needs to do.
Yeah.
Well, the Flyers will get back on it. Following that penalty, it'll be 2nd and 15. Ball spotted back at the 44-yard line. Officials writing something down.
Do you want mushrooms or do you want extra cheese? Pepperoni?
Well, in between games is coming up. Now, this Saturday morning, we're here for the JV game. There'll be a freshman game played a little bit later on today. On a 1st down and 15, handoff right up the middle. Daniels again picking his way through. He's going to take this a long way inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. Let's see, 24-yard sprint.
That's just a simple dive play, straight ahead. Thank you, offensive line.
Yeah.
Really, that's like you were saying. That's. So they only got there's 2.5 guys they got to block.
Well, keeper this time, Knopf will get wrapped up and dropped.
See, now the back there, that time a little too much dancing. Get it up in a hole and go. You let the defense recover.
Quarterback keeper that time into the line, and Adam Cauble, or I'm sorry, wrong sheet. Jesse Robles in there from his linebacker position to knock him down. Pick up maybe 1.5 yards, 2.
Okay, here's the big play right here.
And again, this is where the Lorain defense has been a little bit better. Once they kind of get their backs up against the goalpost.
Yeah, yep, you're
they've
right.
been a little bit more staunch. 2nd down and 8 from inside the 20-yard line. Play action look. Floater. Almost picked off. You had 2 Titans in the same place at the same time, and a couple different guys wanted that. Ethan Nickel was one of them. I'm not sure who the other one was. Might have been Tucker. Way backfield. Falling complete.
You are correct. That was Tucker was one of the guys there, and I think he saw a lot of green in front of him.
Yes, indeed.
But you got to secure the ball first.
Hey, either one of those guys had big plans for that ball. Boy, oh boy. 3rd down and 8.
They should run this way.
Daniels into the middle of the line. We'll get down to the 15-yard line. That'll be it. Andrew Weatherspoon, the junior, making the tackle for Lorain High there. So it'll be a 4th down and about 6. Field goal is really not going to be an option, so you're going to run it.
If you don't kick an extra point, you certainly aren't going to kick a field goal.
There you go. Tight formation.
They're all coming.
Wings on either side. Yeah, Lorain's ready to go after this one. Knopf's the quarterback, goes under center. Keeps it, wants to go downfield, has 2 guys in the back of the end zone, up for it, and it will fall incomplete.
Oh, he had it.
Some good coverage downfield. You see, I want to say, was that Robert Gonzalez? He got a hand in there, pulled him down, and separated the ball from the receiver.
The receiver did not secure the catch.
I think you're right, Don. I think it was a combination of things. Gonzalez made a nice play after what looked like was going to be a catch and got his hand in there. And then when the receiver hit the ground, I think that jarred him as well when Gonzalez had his hand on the ball.
Oh, for the Titans, happy with the result. Combination of things coming together to make that happen, but it'll give the Titans the ball with 4:05 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Clyde had that ball a long time.
About 3 minutes and change.
Yeah.
And again, we talked, just moments ago about the red zone defense for the Titans, and here we see it again. Able to set that down and give the ball right back to their offense. The heat getting to some of the players, I think, Coach.
I think you're right. And there is some heat down there.
There is. Back to that run look for the Titans. There it is again. Boy, spinning off. I thought Xavier Smith was wrapped up and stopped at about the 14-yard line. Ends up getting out to about the 18. Pickup of about 3. He's got quick feet.
Oh, yeah. Gee whiz.
2nd down and 7. Two backs close to the quarterback on that patented run formation. Handoff up the middle.
Got outside on that.
And Taylor working upfield again. Flag comes in behind the play.
I think it's a block in the back.
Yeah.
That's why he got outside.
It's either a hold or a block in the back. It's almost guaranteed from the way and where it was thrown and how it was thrown. Gary?
All right, there we are. We're on now. Yeah, they're marching it back, going the other way, and I think that might have been something that helped spring him to pick up that yardage. And or it was one of those situations where the defender started to get away and the blocker just kept blocking or held him.
That happens sometimes.
Just grab on. So what's worse, not making the block when it comes to films, not making the block or getting called for the penalty that sprung him?
I don't know. You still get your butt
might equally bad. The 12-yard line will be a 2nd down and 13 now for the Titans. Clarence Thomas, the quarterback, wants to throw. Spins it out. It's going to be picked off in the middle of the field, and this may go on into the end zone. Yep, pick 6. Heading in for Clyde, Caden Olson.
Well, he read that all the way, didn't he?
He had every bit of it. The ball just kind of hung up there a little bit in the middle of the field, and Clyde's been playing with that center field type safety all day long.
Well, that's not a bad idea. You're playing against a wide open offense like Lorain has.
Well, here's the thing, guys. This is a very important 2-point conversion for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Lorain can stop them, they still keep it within 8.
That's a good point, Gary. 3 receivers right. Single running back in the offensive backfield. I wouldn't be surprised to see Griffin Knox just take it. And we'll have a timeout before we get there. Apparently the coaching staff agrees with you. Pelton, they want to talk about this.
They get the situation where if the Flyers get this 2-point conversion, then they've got a 10-point lead, which is 2 scores, which changes things a little bit. Though we've got a lot of time to go in the ball game, a 10-point lead is definitely different than an 8-point lead.
I think your point's on target, specifically on target.
Yeah.
So they'll discuss it and figure out what they want to do. I still think they've been good in short distance, actually with either one of their running backs, but Knopf's being able to come out, it's, again, not a wildcat, but it's just a quarterback keeper. He's had some good success. Yeah. Plus you've got the big guy, Michael Daniels, in that backfield as well.
Well, you've got to, Lorain, you got to defend all those guys that are spread out right there. It's going to be probably 2 on each side or 2 and 1 or –
yeah,
they're spread. The field is spread, so.
I'd almost say to your linebackers, okay, you watch 14, you watch 28.
Jeez, yeah.
Go get them. Flyers looking over at the sideline, want to make sure they have the play right going into this extra point play. In motion, inside the formation to the left side. 3 receivers. Knopf's just keeps it. Heads up field, he'll take it in. And there is that big lead, Gary, that you were talking about.
Yeah, you're right. That changes the complexion of things just a little bit.
You know, back in the day when I was a JV coach, we worked real hard on kicking that extra point, that big tackle out there, do the Lou Groza. And we kicked the first one, and then we'd fake the second one. We had the corner guy watch the, and we always got each one. And then after that, we could do whatever we wanted to do. You know, well, they kicked it and made it. They faked it and made it. Then the defense, they're just standing around on the third, you know.
Well, when you make that the second one, you run the fake and get it. Now, does that slow down the rush just a little bit the next time that
it definitely helps.
The defense is
but then we would go back to kicking a lot because our goal was to develop a kicker for the varsity. And that was one of the things we worked on real hard.
It's a critical need, and especially as the game has progressed and there's more scores being put up, it's even more important. Lorain High has the ball again at the 35-yard line coming off the score. A little bit better than 2.5 minutes remain in the third quarter. First down rush, and that's basically no gain. Second down and 10. Yeah, there's not a huge sense of urgency. Two receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Man coverage on the outside. Gonzalez wants to throw, does so across the middle, has a man. Reception made at the 45. He'll take it down to the 40-yard line. Harkness with another big pitch and catch. They got a 25-yard gain. Good, Gary.
I'll tell you what, that was a nice throw by Gonzalez because he's
under pressure.
He's rolling to the left. He's a right-handed passer, and then he threw it back across his body towards the middle of the field.
Yeah.
They don't quite give him the 40. They'll spot him outside that at the 41-yard line. So a 24-yard gain. Still pretty impressive nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Gonzalez with 3 receivers on his left. Wants to throw. Gets outside, contain. Lefty needs to chuck it. He'll just tuck and head up the field. Turns that into a nice gain down to the 30-yard line. I thought he was going to be close to going out of bounds.
Oh, man.
He's going to pick up 11.
Jeez.
What he did there, guys, was he was looking downfield, what he's supposed to do as a quarterback, and then it looked like he was just going to go out of the bounds, and he kicked it into another gear and picked up enough for the first down.
Yeah. Good heads-up play.
Like Gonzalez, it looks like an athlete. You know, you got guys that are quarterbacks. You know they're quarterbacks. This young man I think he's got some good athletic ability. 3 receivers on the right, 2 to the left. Obvious throwing formation. Nope. Gonzalez will just tuck it and head upfield. Take it inside the 30, down to about the 28 for a pickup of a couple. .34 seconds left in this third quarter. The Titans can turn this one into a score. Gets a whole lot more interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then we go back to Gary's point about the extra points. We start talking about that. Run formation in the backfield. Xavier Smith, David Taylor. It'll be Taylor. Going to pick his way through the line. He'll work forward for a yard or two.
They like that little scissors play.
Yeah.
You go left, I'll go right, and they'll never know who's got the ball.
Cameron Norman, Sean Scarvelli out there helping him out. The offensive line. It is. Eusebio Sevi Medina. See who else on that offensive line. Talked about Norman. Who else do I need to get? Armani Cruz. Those guys have been putting in some effort, and those big guys don't get to come on and off the field.
No, they don't. No,
they stay out there in this heat, and they need to.
That's the penalty you get for being the big guy.
So we've got 10 more minutes of football coming up here. Once we get back to play, we'll take a break. We'll be right back with more on WLCS TV20.
Every year, the Salvation Army serves nearly 30 million people in need. That's one person every second. So by the time you've finished watching this, 30 more lives will have been changed for good. All thanks to your donations.
Thank you.
Hey, we missed you at the game last week. Is everything all right?
I just haven't been feeling like me lately.
You know I'm here for you, right?
That's a cut. Beautiful. Acting is one thing. Talking about suicide in real life is another.
In the military, you take challenges head on.
And now it's your turn to do the same for our veterans.
Be there.
Learn how you can start the conversation at BeThereForVeterans.com.
All right, fourth quarter action set to get underway here at George Daniels Stadium. 22-12 in favor of the Clyde Fliers. The Lorain Titans in JV football action. Titans now have the ball on the third down at about 7. Heading into this fourth quarter, long pass downfield is going to be picked off. Inside the 10-yard line, will head the other way. That's what, the third turnover?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them was a pick six.
You started getting excited a little bit about the way the Titans were moving the ball and some of the decisions that were being made. That ball floats up there a little bit, and again, those center fielders downfield for Clyde making the play.
Well, and you're telling them that we're throwing the ball a lot, so.
Well, the thing about this possession, guys, is that Clyde is backed up inside the 10. They're at the 8-yard line. So if the Titans could come up with a nice defensive stand here,
yeah,
they can probably get the ball back in nice field position. But they've had a little bit of trouble slowing Clyde down.
Yeah, they've got to get after it at this point. Keeper Knopf's right up the middle. He'll work his way outside the 10 to about the 12, a pickup of about 4.
He got that extra 2 yards. They got a guy down.
Jesse Robles was in on the stop for the Titans, but there is one of the JV Lorain players down on the field right now, and really just, you don't want to see that stuff.
No.
Ever. When we get back at it, we'll have about 9:16 left in the ball game. It'll be a second down and about 6 for the Clyde Fliers.
I tell you that Lorain's got this big guy, Sean Scarvelli. That guy looks like a football player. I mean, he's a big dude.
Sophomore.
He's sitting down here on the end of the bench now.
Yeah, he is a big fella, that's for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, these JV Titans do have some good size on the offensive line and the defensive line, for that matter. They've got some good size. It looks like they've got some players in the skilled positions that are doing okay. Injured player is up and moving.
Yeah.
It's Isaiah Harrison, a junior, coming off the field and seems to be doing okay.
That's good.
Good to see him moving along under his own power. Team giving him a little bit of a welcome back to the sideline, and they'll probably get him back out here in a play or two. 2nd down and 6 for Clyde. They've got the ball at the 12-yard line, their own 12-yard line. Looks like they want to set up to throw it here, although I got to tell you, Knopfs and Daniels have been pretty successful throwing out of this formation. Will throw on a 2nd and 6. Heave the ball long down the field. Well, just kind of airmailed that one, sent it over top of everybody's head. So here you go, Coach. This is the point you were talking about. And Gary was chiming in on this. Well, you get a good defensive stand here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're going to get it back.
Yeah. 3rd and 6. Couple more solid plays. Stay in it.
You hate running out of the shadow of your own goal line, man. That's never. Oh, geez. Well, Lorain's defensive backs are backed up.
Knopfs hands up Daniels right up the middle. Gets dropped at the 16-yard line. He'll be short, and there's another Titan down on the field.
He's hurt.
Looks like it. See what's going on here. Here, do you have a number on that player?
70.
Number 70, I believe it's Isaiah Harrison again.
Okay, it was the same young man that was just down on the field. The ball will be spotted out at the 16-yard line when we get back at it here. It'll be 4th down. And a couple. Let's see what comes out of this.
Well, if you're going to talk about the 4th down situation, they picked up enough yardage to make it an attemptable 4th down.
Right.
Because they're down to 4th and 2. We have not seen either team punt so far this morning.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting what the Flyers do when they come out here for this 4th down situation. But
Gary,
they've got plenty of time to sit over there and decide what they're going to do.
That's true, too. And, Gary, they've had really good success, with their running game on whatever the down and distance or short distance, because you've got a quarterback and a running back, both of whom can pick up a couple, maybe 5 yards for you without too much of a problem.
You're right there, Don. They've got a situation where I'm sure they're sitting over there discussing 2 or 3 different play options and different ball carriers, and they're just trying to figure out the best one that they've had the most success with and see what they can do to pick up that 1st down. On the other side of the coin, the Titans have to come up with their best defensive play thus far in the ball game. This is a huge play right now.
I think this young man has got an elbow problem.
Well, it looks like it might be.
He's kind of holding it.
Yeah, I'm sure Tracy's going to take care of him. And make sure he's good to go. You get off the field and take a knee.
Well, he's not even hardly off the field.
No.
I mean, really, son, you got to get over to the training table.
Well, get a little bit further off because you can get bumped here. So here we go on a 4th down and 2. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line for the Clyde Fliers. Xavier Bell in the middle of that defensive line. Looks like the Titans want to come after this. Bit of a blitz. At least a blitz look. Shifting around back there, moving around. Knopfs will keep it. 1st down and then some. Out to the 20-25. Cuts back, gets wrapped up and dropped.
Boy, did he read that blitzing linebacker?
Did he?
Linebacker went left, he went right. Oh, boy.
Pick up a 14 and a 1st down. Actually, the worst hit he took was from his own offensive lineman coming back to try to throw a block.
Yeah.
Got blasted. So first down and 10 for the Flyers. They'll get back at it from their own 30-yard line and have kind of escaped the end zone goalpost.
Oh,
long ball. Oh, boy. If he catches it, forget about it. That one's going a long, long way. Possibly into the end zone. Definitely into the end zone. Touchdown, Caden Olson. Flags fly.
Flag. Oh, and they're
going to call the touchdown. Personal foul, roughing the passer, which will go off not on the kickoff per se, but on the start of the play.
But I tell you what, and that goes back, Don, to that making that little 3-yard first down.
You're right. Sets you up for a 70-yard connection and a touchdown. Had the Titans heading in before they got through that interception.
Yep.
Turned the ball over and you get burned long, and might put you down on the scoreboard pretty healthily now. 7:46 remaining in the ball game.
Yeah, the big thing now is just, if you're Clyde, don't let Lorain score quick.
And Joe Bach back there saying, guys, this extra point is big too. And he's right.
Oh, yeah.
Goes from a 2-score difference to a 3-score difference.
Walked it in.
Not even touched. He literally put his hand on the back of a pulling guard and followed him into the end zone. (30-12) is the count now in favor of the Clyde Flyers. JV football action here at George Daniels Stadium on TV20. I'm Don Vincent. Bob Tomaszewski, Gary Pelter down on the field. Good to be with you guys.
Well, it's good to be whiffed.
Good to be whiffed?
Well, you're with us, so we're whiffed.
Help me, Gary. Help me.
I don't even know where to go with that.
Gary's still thinking it's 7:30 or whatever, 8:30.
I'm almost awake now, Tomo.
I never said you weren't.
All right. So following the penalty on the Titans for the roughing the passer, typically they'd start off at the 35-yard line. It'll back them up to the 20-yard line. Here we go with the spread formation. Clarence Thomas back at quarterback. Throws, fires outside. This could be turned into a big play. Cutting back into the middle of the field. Give him a pickup of about 20, maybe 22. And Jamarion Harkness shows first down. There's a lot of talented kids on this Lorain squad.
Oh, boy.
And you can see these flashes. Harkness is certainly one. David Taylor. Try to come back out to Harkness. You had both he and Taylor in the same place at the same time. That one will fall incomplete. A couple of different quarterbacks, and Gonzalez and Thomas.
Linemen, how many do you need?
Solid. You got plenty.
Got some good-looking kids down there.
Defensive players. Jesse Robles has had a pretty good ball game for the Titans. Robert Gonzalez will be the quarterback. Trot out onto the field with the play. They'll split 2 to the left and 2 to the right. Actually, 3 to the left. Second down and 10. They'll spread the field. Gonzalez, quick hitter. Outside. Working upfield. Xavier Smith tries to bust it outside. It's a lot of effort into a 2 or 3 yard gain. Spot the ball with the nose on the 45-yard line. It will be third down. Clock clearly becoming more and more of an enemy for the Titans. 3rd and 7 for Lorain High.
Clock's not running. Why is that? Now it's running. 3 receivers off to the left. You have a crossing pattern in the middle. Gonzalez can't find anybody. He has to go to his feet. Works upfield, tries to find the corner, does so. Gets to the sticks and then gets chased out of bounds, and a flag comes flying in late. May have taken a little bit of a shove on the sideline. That took them a little over 30 seconds to get the play in and get the play off. and then it took another 20 seconds to run the play. You don't have enough time to spend that long running one play.
Pick up 12 on the carry, then you get the unsportsmanlike conduct foul. That's another 15 yards.
Yeah.
They'll step the ball all the way down to the Clyde 28-yard line. Titans now moving toward that area where they've got to find a way to put the ball in the end zone. First down. Two receivers will split either way. Shotgun and one running back in the offensive backfield. Gonzalez will throw it up. Boy, nicely defended out on the top that time, and that was Andrew Cauble. He was one of the guys with a big interception earlier.
Yeah. Trying to get the ball to Harkness. Yeah, that guy, I'd want to get him the ball too.
Oh, yeah.
He can get up and get it.
Clock will stop with just under 6 minutes remaining in the ball game. Two receivers will go off to the left, one off to the right. Here's that running formation for the Titans. Keeper, option look. Gonzalez turns upfield.
Flag.
Yep, back, probably a hold. Gonzalez will take it down to the 15-yard line. Would have been a pickup of about 13 and a first down, but this one's going to go back.
It's a loss of 10. That's a 23-yard difference. I figured that out pretty good, huh?
That's shop math for you right there.
You got it, brother.
So they'll back it up to the 40-yard line. From there, it'll be second and 22.
See, the whole huddle came over in front of the coach. He didn't say anything to him, and then they are jogging back.
Different time, my friend. Different styles, different approaches. Two receivers on either side. Gonzalez wants to throw, gets pressure up the middle.
Oh,
vacates, and a shoestring tackle out in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
On the stop, Logan Homler for Clyde.
Because he's been pretty good at breaking those tackles and getting a few yards, but not that time.
Loss of 3.
We're down to about 5 minutes, and it's clicking.
Third in a long, long way.
Yes. It's about a third of the field.
About 25. Yeah, about like that. Snap goes back. Gonzalez fires across the middle, has a receiver. Contact made as soon as the receiver made the catch, and that was Taylor again.
And he's still going to be 10, 14 yards short.
About like that, yeah. So it'll be fourth. Yeah, about 15.
Yeah,
Fourth or 15.
I'm thinking, yeah.
So they'll send Taylor off to the left side. Split wide to the right. It's the other favorite target, Harkness. Gonzalez with a lone running back alongside him, wants to throw pressure up the middle, has to vacate again, rolls right, flips one up, lets it float, and knocked down. Boy, that's a heads-up football play there by Cauble. Just knocked the ball away.
Yeah.
That's a smart football player.
Yeah, we don't want it back here. We want it. He knew it was fourth down. Yeah, that's a heady player right there. Because he could have snagged that. That was right in his hands.
And that's tough from a stats perspective. You give up a good number.
Yeah.
But you make a heady play.
Yeah, coach knows that, though.
I would think. First down and 10 for the Clyde Fliers.
Get your reward during films on that one.
I would think. Titans will run another guy in off the sideline. Enough bodies out there. Less than 4 minutes remain. Low snap, picked off by Knopfs. Rolls to his left, flips it up, finds a receiver. That's going to be first down and then some. Out to midfield and down at the other 48.
And really
Catch
smart
made
on
there
his
by Tuckerman.
Smart on his part. He did not go out of bounds. Now it is a move the chains thing, but still. Now they're winding the clock. Yeah.
Yeah, 19-yard pickup. Go ahead and do exactly what my partner said. Move the chains. Hey, Gary, saw you down there talking to the athletic director for Lorain City Schools, Brian Corey. Any insight? Any good news?
Well, I did ask about the situation where the
ball comes loose on the field, still loose. No one wants to claim it. Looks like Lorain might have the ball. They will at the 43-yard line. Go ahead, Gary.
Where JV coach here, Jeremy Levea, was by himself today. And I guess the other coach had a family emergency, like literally right before the game.
Oh.
So that's what happened. There are 2 JV coaches, guys.
That's good. That's good. You know, you could have put on a whistle and joined them with the mic.
They don't let you have the whistle when you're coaching on the sidelines.
They don't?
Well, it's a figurative kind of thing.
Yes. You got to leave that in the locker room.
You've got a clipboard. You're ready to go, man. Come on.
So that's why you got a sideline guy. You get the scoop.
Well, that's exactly it.
We got scoop on that.
The Titans will take over at the 44-yard line, trying to get some personnel in place here for this first down snap. 3:11 remaining. Gonzalez, a little bit of a reverse play, and that's going to be blown up. Good defensive play that time. Logan Omler, sophomore defensive lineman, said, I've seen that before. 10, boy, a loss of about 13, maybe 14.
That was the, take that from that classic movie Stripes. What happened, soldier? Blown up, sir. That was. They,
exactly
oh,
the
man,
case.
they got that. Jeez.
All the way back to the 31-yard line. They need the opposite side of the 50 and then 4 more to the 46.
And the clock's running.
Yeah. About 23, though. Flip it out quickly. That will fall incomplete. A little bit low. Harkness had a shot at it, but couldn't quite get there.
Got 2:20 to go.
See a young team off practicing in the distance in the practice field.
Looks like could it be a junior high team? They're all in red.
Not sure. Timeout on the field with 2:21 remaining. Teams will go to the sidelines and chat it up a little bit. Still, you know, it's a 30-12 game in favor of Clyde. There's not a ton of energy out there right now, maybe because the score is a little bit lopsided. But also, and Gary will attest to this probably better than anybody else, it's warm. It's uncomfortable for a Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah. And we're in mid-season.
Well, I'll tell you what, cool. Guys. It is a little warm, but there's a little breeze going. It's not totally unbearable down here.
It's okay.
You know, they got water here. And trust me, this is nothing like some of the dog days of August.
Well, you got a point there.
Yeah. So we'll get back at it coming off the timeout.
They're not wearing jerseys made out of canvas like we were.
Oh, that's true.
Remember those?
Oh, yeah. That was
they
bad.
were nice.
Those were heavy. They were even worse when they were wet.
Abrasive.
And Gonzalez wants to throw, comes out. Harkness gives up a little distance in order to try to get some distance. Will be dropped back at the 32-yard line, so basically a pickup of a yard.
It was a good job by Criswell.
Is that who that was that got in there?
Because he stayed with him.
So third and just a little bit less. Less than 2 minutes now remain in the contest. The Titans will come over to the sideline and get the play from Coach. Get back out onto the field. I'm not sure what that whistle was to signify. I think the clock was already running. Maybe it's just like, come on, let's go. 2 receivers on either side. Single running back. Gonzalez wants to fire. The lefty sends it downfield.
Now the hook and ladder.
Hook and lateral. Nice. And it'll be Taylor heading upfield and out of bounds just shy of the 50.
That's on the last page of the playbook.
I'll tell you what, guys, the problem with that was he went out of bounds and it was 4th down.
It was 4th down.
I don't know if he realized that.
Got to the 49. That's where he got chased out. And that will give the ball back to the Flyers with 1:28 remaining in the contest. They'll have the ball at the Lorain 49-yard line.
Well, they could go into the victory formation if they wanted to.
Did junior highs have that?
If you
The
coach
victory
it,
formation?
If you coach it, they got it.
I suppose.
But these are JVs. You'd think, you know.
I don't know. Knopf
Flag.
will hand off. New running back in the ball game, but my partner's right. There is a flag. That thrown in the defensive backfield.
The thing about that victory formation is pretty easy. The two guys that got to understand it are the center and the quarterback.
That's it.
Make it simple.
And tell the quarterback when you get the ball, count to 2 and kneel down.
5-yard penalty stepped off against the Titans. Makes it a 1st and 5 at the Lorain 44-yard line.
This looks like
This looks like it. That's it. Look at that. They got it. Knopf will take the snap and a knee. Keep the clock running now with 1:15 remaining. Official will set the ball and start the play clock, which is kept on the field. Third down. Actually, just 2nd down. I'm sorry. Had the box on the far side. I click ahead. The official's kind of getting into the middle of
the problem is
now.
you don't have the 5-second guy in the middle of the defense. You only have 4 officials.
Well, I think the guy in the middle of the defense standing amongst the
Is he doing
linebackers, and they're just going to let this one kind of run itself out.
I think it's over. Yep.
23 seconds remain on the clock, but this one is a final. And it goes in favor of the Clyde Fliers by a score of 30-12 as the teams will line up to come back out onto the field. Guys, as they're greeting each other to wrap this one up, nice start for the Titans. Kind of got away from there in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they came out and had some couple nice big plays in that first half, and the second half started out a little bit slow, but then it was all Clyde, guys. They got a couple of interceptions and capitalized, and before you knew it, it was out of reach for the Titans for the most part, especially in that 4th quarter, gentlemen.
That pick 6 too.
Yeah. Well, the big playability of the Titans on display, as it usually is. You saw some talent for the future that we'll see on the varsity field down the road. But this one in the books, 30-12. Clyde JV Flyers over the Lorain JV Titans. For everybody on the sports crew, for everybody at WLCS TV20, Joe Bach, all his fine staff, we appreciate your efforts today. I'm Don Vincent, Bob Tomaszewski, Gary Pelter down on the field. Good afternoon from WLCS TV20. We'll see you next time.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV20 WLCS.